This, my friend, is a potato. Now, we know the expression, he's a meat and potatoes kind of guy. That means that he's not flashy. He likes food plain and simple. He focuses on the basics when it comes to food. He doesn't want a lot of spices. Today, I want to share some plain and simple facts of life, which I've learned. I want to offer you 8 suggestions that will change your past and improve your future. On my head, I'm wearing something that kind of begins with this potato. It's the hat that I wore the day I was hooded with an earned doctorate. I want to talk to you about the dirty jobs that I've had throughout the course of my life that have molded my character and taught me things about the basic, simple things of life. I had a job when I was 6 years old. My very first job ever was picking these things up off the ground. Beginning at 7 in the morning, quitting at 4 in the afternoon, I was paid 25 cents for every barrel of potatoes that I picked. Now, friend, that's a dirty, dirty job. I was in grade school at age 15. I had another job. I was given a pickaxe and shovel and a hard helmet, and I was issued the responsibility of every day digging holes that were 3 feet wide, 6 feet long, 6 feet deep, so that we could put water lines into the residents so they could have running water. In high school, I'd get up at 4 in the morning and I'd walk through snow up to my knees so that I could get to my clients' homes that were over a mile away. I would shovel their driveway, clear out their walkways, and then be at school at 8:20 in the morning. I felt so stinking rich. When Mrs. Campbell and Mrs. Blood handed me a $5 bill at the end of my workday, I'm telling you, $5. On Saturdays in the winter, I would go to the farmer's potato house and I would shovel potatoes with a fork. And I would put them on a conveyor belt so that the farmer could sort them, put them in bags, put them on a trailer truck, and ship them all the way down to Massachusetts. In college, I lettered in 2 sports. I became captain of both the basketball and the baseball team. I was named honorable mention All-American in one of those 2 sports. But at night, when everyone else went to bed, I would go to the gym about 11:30, 12 o'clock at night, and I turned into the janitor. I cleaned the ladies' locker room, men's locker room. I cleaned the toilets in both bathrooms, and I put a fresh coat of dust-free polish over the gymnasium floor. Yeah, I became the sports writer in college and wrote about all the athletic events, and the athletic director paid me a salary that I thought, wow, this is way better than cleaning bathrooms. Then I went on to seminary after I graduated college, and during my seminary years, for 2 of those years, I punched the clock in at 4 p.m. and I punched out at midnight, and in between, I made Ziploc sandwich bags for 8 hours every day. After that, I graduated with my master's degree. I became a youth pastor. I went to the state of Ohio, and I became a father at that point in my life. And my wife and I were happy as 2 young kids could be. We had a home that was 957 square feet, and we thought that was just great. Then we went to Africa, and we lived in that place called Burkina Faso for 10 years. And the United Nations ranked Burkina Faso as among the 4 most economically deprived and underdeveloped nations of the world. I'm telling you, it was hard living, real hard. Came back after 10 years. We left with 2 kids, came back with 3. And my wife had known the difficulty of hearing the doctor say to her, Susan, I'm very sorry to tell you, this is your disease. It's yours for life. It's progressive, and medical science has nothing to slow it down or stop it. Ooh, that was the day I determined that one day in my future, I would have the responsibility, not a job that I had to do, but I viewed it as a job I would get to do, to love my wife like Christ loved the church. And I determined from that day on that I would take the best care of her that I could possibly take. Now, with that much of a story of the real Brent Haggerty, I want to share with you 8 things that I learned along those ways, but I'm also going to tell you the dirtiest, stinkiest job I ever had in my life. I haven't told you yet. But I guarantee you, when I tell you, you're going to lose your appetite and you're going to say, what? You didn't quit? No, I didn't quit. Here's the first of 8 principles that I want you to apply to your life. Number 1, set goals that are higher for yourself than you think you can reach. And then surround yourself with people who are better than you that can help you reach those goals. Those 2 points right there are very, very key points. My friend, if you have no vision and no goal for your life, you won't go very far. You'll always end up playing it safe. I believe what the Bible says. I've obviously, as a pastor and as a missionary in West Africa and Burkina Faso, I devoted my life, I built my life around biblical principles. One biblical principle is this: bad company corrupts good character. Friend, if you want to succeed, you surround yourself with people who are successful on this earth and have an assurance of where they're going when they're no longer on this earth. Principle number 3, leaders are learners. Don't ever stop learning. John Maxwell says this: you have got to determine that you will never stop learning, because the day you stop learning, the day you stop being intentional about getting better, is the day you will begin to decline as a leader. You say, I'm not a leader. Yes, you are. Nobody else leads your life except you. And if you aspire to ever have anyone else, a wife, kids, that will follow and aspire to be what you are, you need to lead yourself courageously. Never stop learning. Principle number 4, you'll miss 100% of the shots you don't take. My friend, no one missed more shots in the NBA than Michael Jordan, but no one yet has won more games than Michael Jordan. He wanted the ball at the end of the game, even though he missed more shots and therefore lost more games because the ball was in his hand than any other player in the NBA. He also has won more games. Fear of failure, fear of rejection, fear of being the brunt of jokes will keep you from taking risks. Without risk, my friend, you'll be fear-driven every day of your life. Run some risks, miss some shots, because it leads to principle number 5, be quick, but don't hurry. John Wooden was one of the best coaches in all time in college. He won 10 national championships. That phrase comes right from his lips. Be quick, but don't hurry. My friend, get started today. Don't expect results in a day. Don't expect results in a week. Don't expect huge changes of life in a month. Today is the tomorrow you were waiting for yesterday. But too late is when a long string of tomorrows that we talked about yesterday never get started today. Listen, be quick. Start today. Determine you're going to start now. At the end of this video, you're going to make some goals, put them on paper, and then you're going to surround yourself, make a phone call, ask for accountability, get surrounded by good, moral, high, successful people. Principle number 6, fail forward. Learn from those mistakes. Practice doesn't make perfect. Perfect practice only makes better. Done, my friend, is better than perfect. Failures are like the foundation of all success. It's a terrible question, says John Maxwell, to ask, what would you do in the next 5 years if you knew you couldn't fail? You can't do anything in the next 5 years without failing. Learn from your mistakes. John says, fail forward. Learn from those mistakes. When you're down there in failure, pick up a stick, something that will help you to lean against something in that failure, that will help you to take a bigger step forward as a result of the failure than you ever could have taken had you never run the risk of making the mistake and failing in the first place. Principle number 8, my friend, don't ever quit. My mom raised me with this expression: when a job is once begun, never leave it till it's done. Be the labor great or small, do it well or not at all. Now that was my mom. My dad had a different approach. He was kind of a hard nose. He was a no-nonsense guy. He was a meat and potatoes guy. The way he put that expression was this: a job worth doing, kid, is worth doing right. Now get your butt back out there and do it over. And this time, do it right, or you'll be doing it over again. Yeah, that was my dad. Don't ever quit. Now, I promised you to tell you the dirtiest job I ever had in my life. This is it. I was hired as part of a sewer cleanout crew. I'll never forget the day I waded through sewerage water that was up 16 inches. I had hip waders on to get through the junk. Yep, there were feces. There were feminine napkins floating in the water I was walking in. I had to take my gloves off and reach down with a pipe wrench into all that filth and try to find the cap and then unscrew the cap for the sewer clean out and then run what's called a sewer snake down through that pipe. And I tell you, it was the stinkiest. I gagged until the tears just ran down my face. I thought I'd never recover. You know what the significance is between this potato? Cleaning out sewers as a 16, 17-year-old kid on a summer job and wearing this hat and speaking 3 languages and living on 3 continents, visiting 5 and visiting 27 countries. By the invitation of national leaders, Brent, would you come and would you teach us what you've learned about life? My friend, listen. Dirty jobs are part of a daily process. And if any job is too big or too good for you, or too bad for you, you can decide right now you're never going to know success the way maybe you could have known success. These, my friend, are some of the dirtiest jobs that had the biggest lessons of life. And I encourage you this day forward, make a decision now. Get started today.